So this upgrade starts with us installing solar. We're here in the Phoenix area on a rare cloudy day, but in general we get a lot of sun here, so it seemed worthwhile to capture some of that and make use of it. Here you can see where the solar DC power comes down to the inverter, which is a solar edge. It's got its own meter here, so it can be captured by our utility company. And utility company is who placards these things so that anybody working in the breaker box knows that there's power coming from a different source. So we do have a cutoff switch here, and the power comes in to two circuit breakers, 20 amps each. So basically a 20 amp 220 hot spot in the circuit breaker, in the circuit breaker box in the electrical panel, and that adds power to the main power coming in from the utility, and theoretically augments some of the power that we make use of. Anyway, during the process of learning about the solar and the install and so forth, I asked a question I've asked before of solar companies: what happens if the grid goes down? Same problem. If the grid goes down, solar is shut off, so we get zero power. So even though there's solar panels on the roof collecting energy, we sit in the dark down below. So it's like, what to do about that? And that's kind of what started my searching for some sort of a battery backup solution. So you can see I have the solar edge inverter here, and I understood from the sales guy that it was possible to connect a EV charger to this thing, and a charger would work even though the grid was down. But it turns out that the one they install, and I was just interested in a fairly quick install. I didn't want this dragging out for a year or something. But this is a fairly basic inverter, and it does not have the capability of attaching an EV adapter. That's the hub version, which is a couple of levels up. So at some point I could probably have it swapped out, but I don't have an electric vehicle now anyway, so we'll just leave it the way it is for the moment. But it did convince me to at least try out the Delta Pro, which you can see where the infinity cable is plugged in. In that same slot you can put the 1772 connector with an adapter like this that plugs into the infinity port, and then the adapter plugs into the 1772 charger. And I do have friends and relatives that have an EV, so that can be plugged into the 50 amp EV connector here, and provide power for whatever EV takes the standard 1772 connector. Anyway, I did try plugging that into the Delta Pro, and lo and behold, it worked, and it charged really fast with that connector. So what I was thinking is that, this is something that I may want to use when I got our RV, our Winnebago, out. The connector on the front is a 30 amp connector, and as it turns out, that will charge the RV twice. So at the moment in the RV, I've got lead acid batteries, and they don't hold a whole lot of power. They go out quick. Last time we were out with it, sort of kind of boondocking, we wound up getting pretty cold here in Phoenix because it was in the 30s and the battery just couldn't keep up, so had to shut things down, including the fan for the propane heater. So it was a wake-up call there. Anyway, I liked the idea of a battery system that was fairly portable. If you do the Tesla, you put something on the wall and it's just for the home backup, that's it. But this can be used a number of different ways. Now, of course, now that I have it integrated into the home, I have to think about that. I don't want to pull the only battery away, so I ordered another one that's coming soon, and so I'll have two, so I can drop back to one while we're out with the RV and then put it back in place and have actually two batteries plugged into the smart home panel. In doing my research, one of the things I found out was when you go solar, you wind up with new electric rates from the utility company. And here are the rates. Right now, of course, we're in winter time. But notice that there are peak rates and then non-peak rates. So one of the features of the battery system is to charge during the non-peak rates, particularly during the time when the sun is shining and you're getting power from the solar panels, and then use that power to power your house during the more expensive times. Now, again, during the winter, that doesn't matter that much, but particularly July and August, you can see that that would save $2 a kilowatt hour. So then it starts to get worth it. It'll be interesting to see if I move the needle on the utility bill at all.